What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I have another video in our series of looking at some of the top potential prospects in this year's 2022 NBA draft. I'm going to be looking at today TyTy Washington, a freshman this year at the University of Kentucky. I'm going to be looking at what he's good at, what he's not, what to expect from him kind of out of this college season. And more importantly, I want to hear about what you guys have to say about him. So make sure you leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think of TyTy's game. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So who is TyTy Washington? Well, TyTy Washington is a former 5-star prospect who will be a freshman this year at the University of Kentucky. He's a 6'3" point guard, about 185, 190 pounds. And he looks to be kind of the next in line of the great point guards that Coach Cal has produced. And he looks to kind of take over the reins of that offense. I think he's going to be a player who, is given the keys to the offense. He's going to be expected to run the team. And I think he's going to be a big reason why either, Kentucky this year, looks to get back, on top and be one of the top teams in the country. Or, if they kind of continue what happened last year and, not as great as Kentucky basketball has been in the past. And so I think a big, part of that is going to be on TyTy. How good can he be? Right now, he looks to be a projected kind of mid first-round draft pick. Can definitely play himself into the lottery if he has a good year. And, there could be a scenario where, if he doesn't, live up to expectations or play that well, he could be coming back for a second season. So what are some of the strengths or things that TyTy Washington does well that makes him one of the top prospects or potential prospects, that is, in this year's draft class? And I think the big thing with TyTy Washington are his physical characteristics, and kind of going from there, the big thing with him is his quickness. He's one of, if not, the quickest player in this year's draft class. He's just someone who's really hard to stay in front of him. He has an excellent first step, and he has a very good handle. And you combine those two, and like I said, it's hard to stay in front of him. He can seem to get to his spots, whenever he wants. He's someone who really excels in transition, can get, coast to coast in a blink of an eye. And I think he, will follow in the mold of someone like, John Wall or De'Aaron Fox and players like that who Coach Cal has done well with and, exceed in an up-tempo type system. You combine, that quickness and the ability to play in transition with the fact that TyTy is someone who can kind of score at all three levels. Like I said, hard to stay in front of him, and it seems like he can get to the rim whenever he wants, where he's a really good finisher for someone of his size. He seems to be a very good shooter in the mid-range area. Again, another instance where he can kind of get to those spots whenever he wants, and he can knock down that mid-range jumper pretty consistently. The three-point shot, it comes and goes. He's streaky at the moment, but he has shown the ability to knock that down. And if he can really, sure up that three-point shot, and if he can shoot it, at a good percentage this year, he really becomes, a scary, player and someone who could easily be a lottery pick in this year's draft. TyTy is also an adequate playmaker. He's someone who is maybe a little more, score focused, but he does showcase playmaking ability. And I think he's, good enough, of a playmaker where it's not, a weakness or something that can hinder his game. I think that's something that's going to continue to develop. And as he gets more of a feel for the game and learns how to, really utilize that quickness and, pace that he can play with, I think, the playmaking will come. And I think it's something he's only, going to get better at. Another thing that, can, be considered a strength for TyTy is his defensive versatility. He offers good length. He has the quickness to guard, both guard spots. And while not the biggest and, strongest player, he has excellent length, and that allows him, I think, to be a versatile defender and someone who can guard, both guard spots at the college level. And then as he gets stronger, eventually, someone who could guard both guard spots at the NBA level as well. As far as weaknesses go for TyTy Washington, or things that he's going to have to work on, I think the big thing for him is becoming a much more consistent three-point shooter. As I kind of mentioned, in the strengths portion, He's just really streaky from 3 at the moment. His shot mechanics look solid. He looks like he has a good foundation to work on there. And so it's just about reps and getting more consistent with it. If he's able to shoot the ball well at Kentucky, then I think that's, when he becomes a lottery type pick and, could, become a scary prospect in that sense. If he has, a down year or is cold from 3 at Kentucky, then I think that's when you could see him start to kind of slip, in the draft and, people kind of question, if that part of his game will come around. Other things that TyTy needs to work on is he needs to, learn to play more under control. Again, this is something that he's, in the strength section of being, one of the quickest, fastest players in this year's draft. But he also needs to learn how to, play under control, utilize that, quickness, play at different paces, and kind of just learn to ultimately, control the game as a point guard, which kind of, goes into the next weakness of sometimes he can be a little too, scoring focused and not enough of kind of a true point guard or someone who can be a playmaker for others. And so ultimately I think he needs to learn how to, play with a little more pace, control that quickness, learn how to get his teammates involved, and just become, like I said, someone who can control the game because he has that ability with his, quickness and pace to really, put his footprint on it. And I think that's something that's going to come with time and just experience. And hopefully, at Kentucky, he can, improve on that and show scouts that he's got, the ability as a point guard to do that. Ultimately, I think TyTy is an interesting prospect. I think he's someone who can easily play himself into the lottery. I think right now a lot of mock drafts have him as a borderline lottery type pick. And this is kind of that gray area. If you play well, you can be, secure yourself a spot in the lottery, a top 10 type pick. Or, if you have a poor, freshman season, you may be looking at, late first round, second round type player. And so, ultimately it obviously comes down to, how well does he play? And I think he's got a great opportunity in this system with Coach Cal. He's had players like this before. And so if he can, play well in it and, really, carry that Kentucky team or, be kind of the initiator for them, then I think he's got a good chance of being, that lottery top 10 type player. If he plays poorly, he could easily fall to, late first round, second round pick. And that's when you start talking about, potentially coming back for a second season and playing yourself into the first round. And so I think, it could go either way. It'll be interesting to see how it happens or how it plays out. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of TyTy's game. And, with that being said, I'll talk to you guys later.